Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I'm experimenting with something today. I have a new light, it's a ring light, and ironically I've been using the ring light base to mount my phone on it, but I've never used the actual light on it, specifically because I have a studio light by Torgem, and I've been using that for, I don't know, probably like 2 years now. So I thought, I wonder what it's going to look like if I just turn my ring light on. So let's see. What am I doing today? What are we all doing here? So first of all, welcome to the station, or welcome to the channel. We are going to be putting figures into a scene so that they don't seem stiff, especially if you're doing a battle scene. Sorry, if you're doing, some kind of environment concept art, if you're tiling, anything of that nature. I've touched base with this before, but I want to go into some more detail because I feel like if you're watching this right now and you're an environment concept artist and your stuff is stiff, like really stiff, the figures in it, and you just don't know how to fix it, there are little nuances that you can change, and it will exponentially increase the believability of it. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm ghosting in a creature, and what this is, it's kind of like a big boss or maybe a mini boss, and the figures are going to be down here. So I'm drawing this in the point of view of like RPG, okay, Final Fantasy. Remember those old games and new games, and they had some pretty epic bosses. And let's say that you're going to be doing some figures down here in the right side. Everybody draw along with me right now, especially if you have your sketchbook open, you don't really know where to start. We're going to be putting some energy into everything we do, everything. And I feel like that's where most sketches falter, is we draw them too stiff and we don't really put any life into anything that we draw. And then we fall down the rabbit hole of making it too perfect. So notice how these limbs coming out, these characters are, I'm going to extend the floor here a little bit. I don't want to go past the edge of my camera, so I'm going to try to take it down as far as I can before I really will lose it. Okay, so maybe there's like this cool platform here. Each leg, each body part is going to move in a specific way. So you want to always give motion to it. But the characters that we put into our scene, those matter. Silhouettes matter. And the stance matters. So let's talk about mistakes. Mistake number one, this one. A head will be drawn like this, and people will put a circle in there, like a big fat head with no helmet. The problem is that we want to draw the neck straight down, and then we draw the shoulders. So first of all, if you study anatomy, you'll know, just get your friend to stand next to you and turn to the side so that you can see their body in profile view. And you'll notice that our heads, from the neck all the way up to the bottom of the skull, we lean forward a little bit. There's a natural curvature of the neck. So when you're looking at a figure that you're drawing from behind, the traps and everything will actually be a little bit higher. So there's certain parts of the head, like if we were to draw the jaw here, okay, and then the head coming back, okay, and then the neck, we won't see this underlying jaw part at all. Instead, especially if your character's clothed, we want to be sure that the neck goes up, where the deltoids are, and then the trapezius muscles attaching to the back of the skull. So little details like that are going to go a long way in making the stances seem realistic. Just look at photography. All right, if you're a photographer and you have some pictures of hikers, or if you're in, a downtown that is very crowded and bustling and you'll see people standing there, you'll notice this. You will notice it, that the area between the back of the head and then the tops of the shoulders are kind of squeezed. Okay, now, if you're battling a creature, you're not going to stand there like a statue and go, oh, look, there's a big creature here. And then, you want to make them seeming like they're ready to fight. Okay? Think about how you would stand if you were about to fight. Okay? Think about how you would stand if you were running full tilt and all of a sudden you turn a corner and you have to stop your momentum. Okay? Think about how wide your stance would have to be. So look at this fella right here. The left leg is extended way out because he was probably running, and as he looked up, he's like, what the heck is that thing? It's like a scorpion, a spider, what's going on? So he had to stop himself with this foot. The anchor weight is going to be placed back here so he can keep his balance. Okay, now, problem number 2 that we see in figure drawing really is that we have to draw the natural curvature of body parts, especially if there is an anchor point pressing down against the earth. Have you noticed that when you look at comics, the calves are accentuated, the curvature of the calf and the curvature of the thighs? I mean, crying out loud, just look at Leafield and all those awesome artists where, they draw their characters jumping in the air, especially Spider-Man and Hulk and everything, and it looks like their thigh and their knee and their shins and their calves and their feet, they're all curved to show motion. So that's what you want to do. So notice the foot direction. I drew the back of the heel here. Okay, I want everybody to draw this with me. Just try this out. The back of the heel. I'm not going to draw the toes going forward. It's actually behind you got your Achilles right here because it's pointed that way. It's going up into space, so it's going to be behind that leg. But this one's different. This one is pressing straight down, which brings me to my next point. When we're sketching characters, the stance and the direction of our feet are going to change based on what we want to do. If you are walking, people tend to point their feet outward. Maybe they're inward, maybe they're straight. And even if they're straight, there's still curvature of the feet. Okay, I don't want to get too caught up over here. I got to think about what he's doing in that stance too. So I'm thinking if it's a wizard or something, maybe the staff is pointed back, but he also has another weapon. I wonder what kind of weapon this is. Maybe it's like an ancient stick or a staff. Okay, see how the different directional changes are coming down? There's a lot of dynamic happening. So we got feet spread, curvature of the leg, the feet themselves going in different directions, the curvature of the back. And then what I want to do is I want to thicken up the back of the head. And I don't want to make it look like a ball. We don't want to put a ball right there and be like, hey, that's our, or it's like, we don't want to do that and say, hey, that's our dude. Instead, think about the clothing that this character is going to wear. There we go, right like that. And then now you're going to start to see that there's a lot of things happening just with the silhouette. We don't have to worry too much about the inner workings of the clothing. Remember, this is so loose. So that's irrelevant right now. Okay, I had to change the light. I didn't like it, and I think it was putting a shine on what I was trying to do. Okay, so let's think about some other different types of figures that you may have in your setup with your creature and your battling in your environment. So this one is a very large character. Okay, think of Hulk, think of Thing, Darkseid, any one of those big ones, Thanos, or just like a major cave troll, like who knows. What you want to do is you want to think about how they battle. What are they going to do to attack? Are they going to use brute force? Are they going to need to be agile and jump? Those are some things to think about, because when I'm sketching this character right here, this is a big dude. Like, look at these traps, and he's kind of hunched over, so his stature is different. I don't really know what's going to go on his head. Maybe there's some spikes or whatever, but the character isn't important. What's important is the stance. All right, so once we have that, I'm thinking, well, maybe this character is hulking and it needs more space to stand. So, your teammates, your posse, your clan, they're going to need to spread out just a little bit more so that our friend here can stand comfortably. And he's ready, man. Like I may even need to, I can't even talk. I may need to really stand this guy in a wide stance. Something like that. We got the back of the thigh, back of the lats right here. Maybe he has some really cool stuff on his pouches, like on the side. He could have the obligatory loincloth. When you're dealing with a big brute, I mean, they're probably going to have a loincloth, right? Now, I could have made this guy super stiff. And the one thing that I did to prevent that was that I'm putting gesture in the hands. So I'm making sure that there's ample room for the fingers, especially the pinky pointing down, and then the two in the middle, and then the pointer. Okay, like he's just ready to punch. He's ready to pounce. Left leg is going to be slightly behind his body. Right leg, at this foreshortening, you're going to see the back of the calf. Okay, and then the calf muscle is going to be here. So it's almost like he's just starting to walk forward or step his leg out even more to show his dominance, like he's about to fight. Now you have to think about what's happening with weight distribution too. So as your foot gets pushed out to counter the weight from you sliding accidentally too far, your ankle's going to bend outward and your foot's probably going to point outward just a little bit. Okay, and then you're going to have, you can see this too in your own feet. Okay, there you go. And you're going to have the toes kind of spread out in the front, but you're mainly going to see the Achilles. Okay, he's ready. He's ready. Let's put a little strap on him like this. And then maybe he's going to have his weapon ready. Why not? Maybe it's like a big brute axe. Just something crazy that only he can lift. Okay, there's that. Maybe there's 2 blades on there too. Nah, screw it. Let's put 3. Because it wouldn't have made sense. Because the blade is kind of pointing to our left, and the way his fingers are gripping, should be pointing outward like that. It's those little things, little nuances that we have to think about. And I'm going to push some dirt up too, like some soil. Because when you dig your foot into maybe sand on the beach, you can tell like it gets pushed out to the sides. So all these little things you really have to think about. You can put 2 more figures right there too. We're not going to get into too much of that. I just want you guys to see how I think about the stances. And again, nothing is set in stone either. So, if I'm drawing this creature right here, hold on a second, gotta move my monitor. If I'm drawing this creature right here, there's not going to be a lot of detail in the actual creature, but I will give just some kind of indication of what's going on with it. Maybe pincers. Who knows? Maybe it's like a giant bug arachnid thing. Of course, I'm Bobby. Like, you know what I'm going to draw, right? I'm going to hit you guys with something different every now and then. I don't know. Should I draw a cute cuddly thing? I think it'll be an epic failure, but we'll see. Okay. So I want you guys to take your sketchbooks and really try this out. Try out these stances. Okay. And think about the terrain that they need to stand on too. Okay. It's probably going to be some flat stone right here. Maybe it's so ancient that there's grass poking up. There's definitely cracks in it. Don't do too much detail. Not until you figure out what's going on with the main subject, the creature, and then also the person. The other thing I want to mention, like when you're doing these, is this is a pretty large sketch. Okay, it's probably like 7.5 by maybe 4 or 5. Make these little thumbnails first, just like little ones. You don't have to do anything fancy or whatever, but make these little thumbnails so you would at least know what layout you like the best. And I would say 5 to 10 thumbnails. Okay, 5 to 10 thumbnails. And that's going to be your assignment for today, everybody. 5 to 10 thumbnails of these little battles. Think about what they're going to be battling. Think about the terrain in which they're going to be battling in. You know, is there like a huge canyon that they're stuck in? Is it like a spider hole? Who knows? Something deadly and something fun. You know, the more deadly it seems, the more fun the playing is. So I hope you liked today's lesson. I'm going to be doing many more of these little characters and environments and everything. This was a loose one. So if you want to check out my last video, you know, that'll show up at the end of this one. And thanks everybody. Comment below if you liked it. You know, if you're making your headway in your drawing skills, and let me know how you're doing. All right. Thanks everybody. Peace.